So.
Well, you say you're teenagers. Now, off the air, you told us, but on the air, since you brought it up, the kids are how old?
My older daughter, Zoe, is 15. She turned 15 in April. And then my younger daughter, Beatrix, is turning 13 in August.
Beatrix with an X at the tail.
Yes, with an X. She always tells people that. She's like, it's Beatrix, because people always call her Beatrice, but yeah, Beatrix.
Now, do you call her Trixie or do you call her Bea? What do you call her?
Funny that you mentioned Trixie. When I was naming my daughter, or tossing around names when I was pregnant with my daughter, my mom freaked out over the name Beatrix.
She didn't like it.
Because she was worried about what her nickname would be, if it would be Trixie. And I'm sorry, Mom, you're not ever going to listen to this podcast, but literally the words that came out of her mouth were, "What will be embroidered on her high school cheerleading uniform, Trixie?" And I was like, what?
A lot of presumption.
What?
She's had a whole past.
Yeah, and let me tell
story.
you, this child is not a cheerleader. You know what I mean? Like, she is a cool little artistic fun. She's could be more of a Trixie than had she gone the high school cheerleader.
Well, let's be fair to your mother. My generation on up, Trixie is the name that was always used for a prostitute. So, like,
it's sex worker, first of all.
Not the generation that would use Trixie as the reference.
Right.
But yeah, that's like on Barney Miller.
You know what?
Hey, Trixie.
Guess what she wanted instead.
Who's that? Your mother?
Yeah.
Oh.
Guess what name she preferred?
Mercedes?
Lola.
Oh, no.
God.
What?
Lola's
A showgirl.
She's a showgirl.
For God's sakes, woman.
Hey, there's a whole song. Like, I don't know there's a Trixie song, but there's a Lola song.
Certainly a Lola song.
Yes.
And I was just like, what is...
Look at me for it.
Yeah, anyway, that's my...
Where does your mother live? She here in town?
She is. My parents, I grew up in Orange County, actually. Don't hold it against me, but that's why I live here now. No, I'm sorry. Love you, Orange County.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
Most of them are horrible people.
Katie Porter.
Katie Porter's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's my parents still live down there. My parents are still married, still alive. My dad's gonna be 89 in October, and is actually in really great shape.
Good for him.
Other than back problems, but yeah.
And now, listen, Orange County is, you mentioned Katie Porter and that she's great. Where do your parents land on that? Do you get along with your parents in that regard?
Well, okay, so as I mentioned, my dad is almost 89. Mm-hmm. He was born in post-Depression Oklahoma, grew up with no running water, one-room schoolhouse education, moved out here to become a migrant farm worker when he was about 12, 13 years old in a dirt floor tent, very Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah.
With no education, became a superintendent at a gypsum plant, worked his way up for 47 years, blah, blah, blah. Basically was the last dying gasp of that American dream where you could do that and have a career of almost 50 years and no education really and work your way up. So he falls a little more on the right. Mm-hmm. But he also doesn't vote. So he doesn't vote. He's never voted. And I think at the end of the day, most of the shit, can I say it?
Yes.
Most of the shit he says is really just to piss my mom off because my mom is like an MSNBC liberal, Rachel Maddow loving, liberal lady. Yeah. And so my dad would come in and just make these off the cuff comments to her. During the pandemic, I believe she threw a remote at him one time and told him to get the fuck out of the room. So yeah, it goes well. I just show up from like protests at my parents' house and I'm like, hey Dad, I just came from the Antifa meeting. It went well. I got elected president. So, like just to piss him off. And
you're a member of Antifa, right? I mean, I just want to make sure.
Card carrying, of course, because that's what we do is carry cards.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a real thing.
And it is, yeah.
To hear the whole conversation, subscribe for free on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, or visit nevernotfunny.com.